What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wild Willow. So in one of my previous videos, it's actually my second video, I went over trilayer acrylic. It's one of my best videos I've done, but a lot of people in the comments were still curious about this material. A lot of people still message me on Instagram asking about it. So today's video is going to be strictly about trilayer acrylic. We are going to be using a specific acrylic for this video. It's going to be brushed gold to black to white. Later in the video, I'm going to be putting on the screen different material tests that I've done on different tri-layer acrylic from different lasers. So that way, if some of you who are watching this video aren't messing around with the gold to black to white acrylic and you don't have a thunder laser, that hopefully those material test cards that I'm going to show you will at least help you guys get started in messing around with this really awesome material. Hello. I'd like to formally introduce myself as Edit Emily. My colleague, other Emily, I feel like she missed the mark on a few things, so I'm here to fill in and tie up any loose ends. For starters, I feel like she did not specify enough what's truly important whenever you're working with your tri-layer acrylic. I do not recommend you just taking the settings and running with it, because you can't guarantee that your depth is set exactly the same as hers, and you can't guarantee that your air assist is set exactly as hers. With her providing the material tests, yes, use them as a starting point, but you must run material tests on all your material, okay? So remember that as you're watching this video, because she did not mention it enough. Run your material tests, and hopefully the material tests that she provides you can use as a good starting point. I'm sure you guys will see me again here soon. All right, so first we are going to discuss the material itself. Tri-layer acrylic. It's pretty much exactly what it says it is. Tri-layer, 3 layers. So today the material that I mentioned that we're going to be using is this brushed gold to black to white. So when it comes to the tri-layer acrylic, there's 3 layers. Whenever your laser is running, it is going to engrave through each layer to expose each color. So you are going to have different settings on your Lightburn for each engraving to expose each color. So you have your base, bottom, core layer down here, okay? And then you have your middle layer, and then the layer on top. And what the laser does, it will engrave through that first layer that you see first and expose the second layer. And then with the correct settings, if you want it to go deeper, then it will expose that bottom layer, the core layer, the base layer, whatever you want to call it. So you will have different settings in Lightburn to expose these colors. So now that leads us into the question of like, where in the heck do I get this stuff? So you guys hear me preach about them all the time. Of course, Johnson Plastic Plus, okay? And then the other place is Lone Star Adhesive. Both of these companies have actually kind of 2 cool things about them. So let's start with Johnson Plastic Plus. They have the option to customize your tri-layer acrylic. You do have to buy more at once, but it's worth it. If you have a big job or you have a popular color selection that people are buying, it's definitely worth stocking up on. I think it's about 8 sheets that are 10 or 12 by 24. So that's really cool that you can customize it with them. And then for Lone Star Adhesive, their thing that makes them really cool is they have all the brushed metal tri-layer acrylics on their website. And I think they have a very cool variety of tri-layer acrylic on their website. So if you guys want to go check out those places, I have discount codes that I'll put on the screen for you. If you guys use those discount codes, seriously, thank you. I appreciate it. It definitely helps support me and my channel. So I love you guys for that. So thanks. Now for the adhesive part. Okay, so whenever you go to Lone Star, if you purchase their tri-layer acrylic, you have the option to get adhesive on it. They have great adhesive, so it works out well. If you guys don't want to purchase your acrylic with the adhesive on it, you don't have to. You can order in bulk and apply it yourself. That's what I do. So that's it about the material and where to get it. Now we're gonna go jump into Lightburn, show you guys a design that I did, and we're gonna get it prepped out for the laser.
Oh, hey guys, me again, Edit Emily. I wanted to fill in real quick because other Emily forgot to say this. Johnson Plastic Plus does provide free samples, so go check them out. Okay, doing these Lightburn videos are challenging for me. Okay, so bear with me, people. This is like take 100. Okay, so right here I have my black and white design. Whenever I first create my designs, I always do them in black and white. And then next, I like to change the colors of what the patch is going to look like. That just helps my brain, and it also is a good way for your customer to visualize what their patch is going to look like with the color before you start cutting it and engraving it. First, what you're going to do is duplicate. So you're going to highlight your image because we're going to use this later. Duplicate. Move it up. We're going to save that bad boy for later. Next, I'm going to come up here and show you guys something. So if you go to Window, there's the option Filled Course. That's what it's on right now. And there's the option for Wireframe Course. I'm going to be going back and forth between both of these types of settings. It's just how I work, and it just works for me. So if you guys want to do that, you can. So for starters, I want this banner, or I want the outer border to be gold. And as you can see, everything is covered up. If you come over here to your cuts and layers, you can click and drag your layers to see the other layers. So now we see everything else. Next, I want my banner in here. Click on it. To be white. So sometimes you're going to have to duplicate things, and sometimes you will just have to change the color. This one I have to duplicate and then turn yellow to see the white. And then down here, so I'm going to highlight Oakdale, and I also want to highlight the W. So hold down Shift and then click on your other object that you want to do. And all I'm going to do is just turn that yellow to show white. And then up here in the mountains, I'm going to select that, hold down Shift, get my little clouds, and I'm going to duplicate this and turn it yellow. And lastly, my banner, I am going to duplicate that and turn that yellow. Okay, so we have everything set up. Where you see gold is going to be gold, where you see black is going to be black, and where you see white will be white. So now we're going to come back up here to our black and white design and start prepping the design for the laser. Okay, so for me personally, whenever I am working on getting the design set up for the laser, I work from the outermost layer and I work my way in. So starting off with our outside layer right here, I'm going to turn this to our cut layer. I'm going to turn that green. And then I have assigned this gray color as our white engraving on our acrylic, and black will stay black. Whenever you are selecting an object to turn it to a layer, you want to make sure that you're not overlapping it onto another layer. It needs to be its own layer. So for this banner, I'm going to duplicate it and turn it gray. And to double check that it is its own layer, I will just move the object down. And as you can see behind where the banner was, it is white. So this is its own layer. So now I'm going to select the Wild Willow. I am going to duplicate it and turn it gray. And now the black is shining through. Down here at Oakdale, we're going to highlight that and then highlight our W. And we are going to turn that gray. And then same for our mountains and our clouds. For this one, we are going to have to duplicate it and turn it gray. And a way to double check, like I said, just move your object down a little bit. And as you can see behind it, there is nothing else. So it is correct. Up here for the banner, we're going to duplicate and turn that gray. And then we are going to highlight our laser engraving, duplicate that, and turn it gray. So now we see our black. So we have this all set up, ready to go. Now I'm going to come over here to my cuts and layers, and I'm just going to pull these up. You guys can pause the video and take a picture of them if this is settings you guys want to try. So right here we have our black engraving. And then right here we have our white engraving. So now that that's done, we absolutely need to preview this before we send it to our laser. So a way to do that is you're going to want to highlight the whole image, and you're going to come up here to this TV looking thing, and it is going to show you a preview. So what I do is I drag this over, and you want to watch this carefully and make sure nothing is overlapping each other. For our white engraving, we are doing 2 layers, so it will overlap whenever it's going over the white. So our first one is over here. It's going to show our black first over in our cut and layers. That's first. So I'm going to drag this, and it should show everything that is going to be engraved black. Okay, that's right. So now it's going to go on to everything that's going to be engraved white. So here it goes. So this is pass number 1. Our banner's getting engraved. Our mountains, our laser engraving, and then it should go one more time over the white. Good. And lastly, it's going to cut. All right, that looks good. Whenever you are going to make these patches, you need to set your cut layer last. I do that last because you just do that. Engrave first, cut last. Okay, now that that's done, we can go ahead and send this over to the laser. All right, really quick, I know we just got out of Lightburn, but I thought of something and I don't want to not explain it. So for the white engraving, the reason why we are going to do 2 passes is because for me personally, in the past, when I was doing 1 pass on that white engraving to get to that bottom layer, I was running into issues like a lot of residue and like gunk buildup whenever it was engraving, and that was messing up the engraving overall. And then also the edges of the engraving were like fuzzy. They weren't sharp and crisp. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try 2 passes. When I did that, it actually worked really well. And the patch was not dirty, like barely dirty at all after engraving. And the engraving itself was very crisp. And that was an issue I had a lot whenever I was trying to run these patches on my Thunder laser. I was like, maybe it's just the laser. It's too powerful. No, unfortunately, you might just have to run 2 passes instead of 1. All right, so the project was sent over to the laser. On the screen, a list of acrylics for diode users, because there's some that work really great with diode lasers, and also there's some that work okay with them, and then there's some that work really good with them. So that way you guys have a good starting point on knowing which acrylic to buy for your diode laser. If you have a CO2 laser, you're not going to run into these issues. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. And next, I want to put on the screen my material tests that I've done on different lasers with different tri-layer acrylic. Please remember, everybody, this is just what I've done that's worked for me. I cannot guarantee that it's going to work for you. At least it's a good starting point. So I'm just letting you guys know that. I'm putting that out there. If it doesn't work out, don't come running to me blaming me, okay? If you have any questions, though, and you're confused about anything, please feel free to leave them in the comments. So personally, I love to use magnets to hold down my materials. You definitely want to make sure that whenever you put your material down on your honeycomb, that it's laying flush with the honeycomb. Okay, I think I mentioned it before, but you want to make sure that your air assist is set to a low for engrave and a high for your cut. Luckily for me, I have dual air assist with my Thunder laser, and I freaking love it. It's literally a lifesaver. Now that we have it all set up, now we can go ahead and frame it, and we're ready to go. So before we get our hat pressed, let's go over what I use in my office to press my hats. Starting with my hat press, it's the Hotronix Fusion IQ. It heats from the top plate and the bottom plate. On this heat press, I have a base platen that I got from Lone Star Adhesive. It has changed the game for my hat pressing business, okay? Because before, if you guys have seen some of my videos before, I had to build up my base platen that the heat press company provides for you with a microfiber cloth and heat tape. It did work good. If you're not wanting to spend money, I could do a video on showing you guys how to do that. But honestly, in the end, I just recommend you going and purchasing one of these because it works wonders. The one I have on here is for like a 112 style hat, the snapback like Richardson. I do all my flat bills on this as well, and I don't have any issues with it. But they do have other options also on Lone Star to pick from. But definitely recommend getting one because you won't have any creases or dents in your hats anymore. And right here I have my griddle. This is my hot plate. I use this to preheat my patches because I no longer preheat my hats. I find that this method works the best for me and it saves me more time. Okay, so we have our patch here. I use Dawn Power Wash. I used to use LA Totally Awesome, but to avoid all the harsh chemicals, this works amazing. So you're gonna have your patch. I like to, for these ones, get it on there like that, let it sit for a second. And then with a microfiber cloth, you'll go ahead and start wiping it clean. Make sure your microfiber cloth is clean. All right, so the patch is all nice and clean. Turned out freaking awesome. All right, so our patch is all clean. I got it heating up on our hot plate here. So I kind of want to go into the hot plate a little bit to give you guys a better understanding as to why I love this so much. So for starters, you're going to want to get a silicone sheet on it because you don't want your patches sticking to your hot plate. But the thing I love about this is I'm able to fill this whole thing up with my patches. I do not have to preheat my hats anymore. The patches are tacky and bendable, and you're able to put them on the hat and do one press only. So whenever you get your hot plate, some things to pay attention to. You want to make sure your heat settings are dialed in perfectly because you do want to have as many patches on here as possible and for them all be ready to go. The thing you're looking for, you don't want them to warp it. If they're doing that, your plate's too hot. You're going to have to turn it down. If the plate is too low and they're not bending at all, you're going to have to turn it up a little bit. So something that you are looking for in a patch is at the bottom, it will be a little tacky and it should bend. It should be really hot. Like that's freaking hot. But it should bend like this. And whenever you let go, it should stay bent. That way, whenever you put it on the hat and you bend it to the hat, it's tacky enough to where it's sticking on a little bit and it's taking the shape of the hat, and then you're able to press and be done. So here are the heat settings that you guys can go ahead and try out. It does fluctuate a little bit, but this is like a rough idea of where you'd want to be at. Once you have those dialed in, let's talk about our pressure of our heat press. I don't do a ton of pressure. I would say it's more on the lower end. You might have to play around with it a little bit whenever you get started, but I definitely don't do a lot of pressure because if you do that, because you preheated your patch, it's already pretty hot, and then you go to press this and you're doing a lot of pressure with a lot of heat, it will tend to want to slip or it will deform your acrylic patch. So I would start on the lower end for pressure and work your way up if you're trying to get a feel for it. All right, so we got everything dialed in. We're ready to go. You're going to need a heat protective sheet or silicone. I prefer silicone for pressing your patch. With your hats, curved bill hats, I don't normally flip the sweatband out, but flat bills I do. It just works the best for me like that. So I flip those out, lock it in. Patch, go ahead and put it on, and you're going to have to push down a little bit to get it secure. Once that's good, you can grab your silicone, lay it on top, pull down and press. It's on there pretty good. Oh, miss me it. Edit Emily live back in action. I wanted to go over one last thing. Other Emily forgot to mention that she has another video that goes over different ways to shade your material. Lots of different material. So if you guys want to add a little spice, a little pop to those patches, check out that video. It's linked below. All right, everybody. Edit Emily. All right, really quick. So I just got off the phone with Josh from Lone Star Adhesive. I was telling him about today's video, how it's all about tri-layer acrylic, and he was so nice to offer a little gift package for a lucky winner. So if you want to enter to win this gift package, you're going to have to leave a comment in the comment section, and you're also going to have to be subscribed to my channel. I know that he had mentioned he will be adding in some tri-layer acrylic into this gift package, so be sure to enter to win. Speaking of entering to win, he's also doing a giveaway. It's going to go to the end of the year. It's every month, once a month, and you have the opportunity to win a Thunderbolt laser. You are going to have to go to his Facebook group page, make sure you join it, and then on there you can find more information about it. Oh, hey there. Oh, it's nothing really. Just my handcrafted, customized tri-layer acrylic hat. And she's looking good. Anyways, closing this video, I really hope that I was able to give you guys as much information as possible so that you can get started on your own tri-layer acrylic patches. If I left anything out, if you guys still have any questions at all, don't be afraid. Leave me a comment, or you guys can message me on Instagram. I'd be happy to help you. Just remember, these are my settings that I use, and I cannot promise you that they will work for you. But I hope those material tests that I put up help you guys out. But yeah, if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to ask. I hope you guys have a fantastic... Oh, I forgot. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. See, the video is doing so good, and I just ruined it with that. That was so dumb. But I'm not going to redo it, so you guys are just going to have to bear with me. Please hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't yet. I got good stuff coming out soon. I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic day. Peace out.